This is a video that I'm making for you guys that couldn't make it out to my actual show to see it. I wanted to show you what the show looked like in a video that you could get some sense of the dimensionality of things. This is the gallery at the FAU Fort Lauderdale campus, downtown campus. It's called 2nd Avenue Studio. It's a configurable gallery space that I laid my show out in, and the first section of the show is kind of a boxed in. I boxed in the area using these movable walls to give an introductory to the show. And in this introductory are large inkjet prints that introduce you to the 4 topics that I talk about. This one's, of course, bottled water. This one's farm chemicals. And then you have cigarettes and plastic bags. And if you notice, all these images are taken, they're to show you at the point at which you choose to consume, like that you choose to purchase them, you choose to use them. And then this wall gives you a bunch of typography that is applied to the wall using vinyl lettering. The upper letters that are 3-dimensional, I found them online. They're the type of letters that you put on the outside of a house or a place of business and mounted them in there. I thought they had a nice little plasticky look to it. And so you see a version of my abstract that tells you what the show is all about, and then a sequence of images that are from the movie The Graduate, and next to that is the dialogue from that sequence in The Graduate about kind of like how plastics were becoming big, and that's really what the show is all about. It's really about how we changed from making things out of degradable materials, to making things out of non-degradable materials that take forever to degrade in the landfill. So after you get introduced to these things, you kind of make your way into the gallery here. And in the gallery space, I'll pan around a little bit. You can start to see it's a very open floor layout. So there's 4 major pieces in the show. And there's so here's that section we just left, the introductory section. So there's a major piece on one wall, a major piece here, and then a flash piece that's animated, and then a 3-dimensional type piece that and then this is more of a flat type piece. So you have your 4 main products. This one is bottled water, obviously cigarette filters. It actually smokes on a timer. This one's plastic bags, and this one is farming. So I'll get over here closer to the farming one so you can see a little bit of that. What you're seeing is a big giant image that I took of the sugar cane plant that is out near the Everglades. And down in South Florida we have a serious problem with runoff, farm chemicals going into the Everglades and destroying it. So what this thing is a timeline of the discovery and birth of farm chemicals up until the use of it in everything that we do, all the farming that we do. And that's this base timeline that's moving across the bottom here. The timeline separates here and goes up, and this timeline is a separate timeline that represents the growth and explosion of suburbs. So we tear up farmland so we can build these suburbs, which generates more people and consumes farmland. So on the same piece of farmland, we have to generate more food to feed the more people that are out there. And this is kind of a clever system that we came up with, where it is a piece of poplar wood that has been cut to precise specifications to hold a piece of foam core. 3/6-inch foam core, and you can hold 1, 2, or 3 pieces to get a layered effect. So you can see it actually sits in front of pieces. Actually, this is a pretty good one. You can really see how it works. But it's held in tension just by the groove being just tight enough to hold the piece of foam core. It holds it right in tension. And then you can see some downtown Fort Lauderdale there. And then this is about plastic bags. So this is a poplar frame that we built in the wood shop here. It rides about 6 inches off the wall, and it holds a piece of 8x4 acrylic. And in that void I collected tons of plastic bags, and they are used as the backdrop to another form of a timeline. Each one of these pieces is a form of a timeline, but this one is just vinyl applied to it, and it is the extremely short amount of time that you interact with the plastic bag, usually measured in seconds if not just a few minutes. Then you go all the way down here, and this very thin line is supposed to represent the thousand years it's going to take for that bag to degrade to a molecular level. So it gives you some idea of the scale. So that typography is extremely small compared to the rest of it, so it kind of draws you in. The bags you see from the other side of the room, it draws you in, and you see the detailed typography. So in this one is a large print that has been applied to a sheet of PVC, and it is a high resolution scan of a water bottle, a spring water bottle label from Publix. So it's kind of got a pop art feel, and it has a timeline as well that kind of charts when we switched from drinking bottled water to, drinking like out of the tap water, there's nothing wrong with tap water, to marketing telling us that there's something wrong with tap water and that we need to drink bottled water in order for it to be safe. So that's what those paragraphs of text are about. Oh, there's this smoke machine shooting off again. So in this bar graph down here is actually created using photographs of caps that I would find on the beach when I was collecting marine debris. Before I would pick it up, I'd take a photograph, and that's just a handful of caps that I found. I must have found more than 150 of them sometimes. And so I used those images to create a bar graph that chart the growth of water bottle sales throughout the years. Give you some idea. That's about 4x8. It's pretty big, like the sheet of a plywood. So this one is kind of the highlight of the show. It's a very dimensional sign that's inspired by some of the retro cigarette ads of the 50s. It's mainly made out of MDF or plywood. We used our CNC router to route out this typography. So it's actually a black piece and a tan piece nailed and glued together and comes off the wall dimensionally. The cigarette is about 6 feet long. It's made out of 4-inch inner diameter PVC pipe that's just spray painted, believe it or not. And in there we built in a smoke machine, as you can see. Right now it's on a timer, and every couple minutes it uses just like a Halloween style smoke machine to give a smoke effect. But attached to the cigarette is wire armature that is supporting foam core, and these pieces of foam core tell the story of cigarette filters, and it kind of gives you the impression of how absolutely, like most of the products in here, they're really unnecessary. They're a marketing gimmick to try to convince the smoker that it's somehow making it less dangerous from the smoke, when in reality it's not any more safe for them to smoke. And they're made out of a form of plastic called cellulose acetate, and it's actually the number one debris that they find on the beach. And I've collected a terrific amount. My parents and my sister collected a whole bunch, and we built a tray in at the bottom, and these are actually cigarette filters that have been collected off local beaches. And when you stand close enough to it, it stinks, and that was the whole idea. So this is, I guess, probably the highlight piece of the show, the one that everyone seemed to be most impressed with. Give you an idea how this works. It's got a smoke machine on the timer. There it goes, smoking. Okay, I'm gonna stop. YouTube only lets you upload video at 10-second or 10-minute increments, so I'm gonna stop real quick and start over for the next part.